has the empire, geoboxing empire, backshore boxing. Now, man, pound for pound star, man, Canelo Alvarez, man. It's wild, man. Canelo's he's a solid fighter. But you know, the guy, he recently decided, you know what, that Floyd Mayweather loss, the only loss I have in my record, that didn't count, man. That didn't count. And I'm shocked that he would say something like that. Canelo says that loss with Floyd Mayweather was a learning experience, and I fought him when I was too green. Now, man, this is wild stuff, man. People are always trying to take credit away from my boy Floyd, man. And nah, man, Canelo, you lost, bro. You lost, right? And I'm gonna tell you why he lost. He lost because he called out Floyd Mayweather. Not only did he call him out, he called him out and said, "I'll fight you at 152." He was desperate for that fight. And Floyd Mayweather was talking about how, man, you're just a kid, man. You know, you're young. You don't need to be fighting me right now. You know, Floyd Mayweather was building up Canelo Alvarez. People don't realize that when Canelo was coming up, the reason why he got big is because he was fighting on Floyd Mayweather cards for a while, right? I remember Canelo's biggest fight up to date when he was fighting was Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley was in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, and when they were fighting, Canelo actually looked great in that fight. It was shocking. A lot of people thought Canelo was going to lose that fight, but he actually showed out in that fight, and he beat Shane Mosley pretty convincingly, right? That being said, you know, this whole idea that Canelo Alvarez was green at the time and that he shouldn't have fought Floyd, the guy was like 43-0. The guy had 40-plus wins by the time he fought Floyd Mayweather. It's facts. And that's insane. He had over 40 wins before he fought Floyd Mayweather, right? Chose to call him out at 152. And then not only that, man, if you actually watch the promotion for the fight, Canelo got a tattoo of the date of the fight for Canelo versus himself. He was talking about how he's gonna win. Nigga got a tattoo saying the date of the fight, and his whole team got a tattoo saying the date of the fight, and they all thought he was gonna win. And then they all have to get removed after the fight. That shit's hilarious. You look it up. Look at the 24/7s at Floyd Canelo. Canelo gets tattoo of the date. He really thought he was gonna win that fight, right? And he lost, and it was bad. He got outboxed. He got out bullied when he wanted to. He got outpaid. Like every time Floyd did something and Canelo did something better, Floyd would do what Canelo did, but even better, right? There's points in that fight where Floyd's moving forward, throwing 3-4 punch combinations in the inside on Canelo Alvarez. You know, walking him down. So that being said, man, Canelo Alvarez, the reason why he really lost this fight is because he has been avoiding boxers. He's been avoiding boxers for a while now. Ever since he lost to Floyd, he can't figure out the puzzle of a complete boxer who actually has a weight advantage or bigger than Canelo Alvarez. Usually Canelo Alvarez always has a weight advantage on his opponents. Most of the time. He hasn't, but he's been avoiding fighters like Demetrius Andrade, 2-division world champion, 2-division undefeated world champion, Demetrius Andrade, right? WBO world champion, and he's the current middleweight champion to the super welterweight WBO champion and current middleweight champion right now. Same thing with Jamal Charlo, right? Former super welterweight champion and current middleweight champion. These people have been defeated in 2 weight classes, and when Canelo was fighting at those weight classes, they're there at the weight classes. And when Canelo moved up, they moved up. And not only did they move up, they both become champions at the same weight class Canelo was in. So you got people chasing Canelo around for years in 2 weight classes who never lost, who fought everyone they told him to fight, and then no one could stop him. No one could stop him. I mean, it's so bad that people were calling for Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade to fight each other because they just can't take these L's. They not only beat their opponents, they beat them in devastating fashion. They walk through them. They walk through them, right? They walk through them. It's so bad with Demetrius Andrade and Jamal Charlo. They had to really start fighting other people's styles, right? Demetrius Andrade's a boxer, and one time he fought this opponent. He has a Eastern European name, so I can't even pronounce it. But he had to fight him in the inside to make it a competitive fight because when he boxed him, it was boring. He was piecing him up. The guy couldn't really compete. So Demetrius Andrade decided, I'm going to fight this guy in the inside to become competitive. And Demetrius Andrade won that fight. It was an 8-4 fight. But people say, the other guy won too many rounds and he beat you and you're robbed. No, Demetrius Andrade decided to fight the guy in the inside because he was just boxing him, and people, they can't handle the high IQ boxing. The high IQ boxing. And that's what Canelo Alvarez has been avoiding. He's been avoiding the high IQ boxer. He's been avoiding those guys, and he's never basically figured out that code. The only thing he learned from the Floyd Mayweather fight is, I gotta stay away from this question, because if it comes up in a test, I can't answer it. And what's that question? That question is a complete boxer, a Jamal Charlo and a Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. You know, especially Demetrius Andrade. I don't understand why Canelo hasn't fought him yet. They're both on the same network. They're both on the Dans. They both are promoted by Eddie Hearn, and I just don't see why the fight didn't happen yet. You know, Dans is represented by Eddie Hearn, and he promotes Canelo Alvarez too. There's no reason why, you know, Daniel Jacobs can fight Canelo Alvarez, but Boo Boo Andrade can't. It doesn't make any sense. You know, shocking stuff, man. There's still big fights that Canelo can get made at 160, and Canelo Alvarez is hopping weight classes, cherry picking bums instead of fighting the best of the best. And the best of the best is these pure boxers at these lower weight classes, right? People need to understand that the 160 division is so talented, it's so deep, that a lot of these contenders and former world champions from a long time ago, from a bygone era, can go up to 168 and 175 and get titles, right? And Gula went up recently to 168 and got a title, right? And where's he been? He's beaten Peter Quillen. He went up weight and got a title, right? Billy Joe Saunders went up to 160 to 168 and got a title, right? Chris Eubank Jr. went up to 160 to 168 and get a title. I'm talking people who haven't even fought for titles at all. It's insane. I mean, this is how talented the 160 division is. Anyone from 160 can go up to 160 or 168 to 175 and get these titles and to drop them. I mean, people do it all the time at middleweight. It's facts, right? A lot of these the 160 fighters is so talented, it's so deep, that a lot of like the top 10 are literally is going up in weight. Not even the top 10. It's crazy, man. I mean, anyone can go up there and get a title and come back down in weight. It's been done all the time, right? Chris Eubank Jr., Billy Joe Saunders, like I said, Daniel Jacobs did it, Angulo did it, Peter Quillen did it. I can keep going on and on naming these top fighters who went from 160 to 168 to get a title, and it was a walk in the park, not even a challenge, right? So Canelo Alvarez going to 160 to 168 in light heavyweight and getting titles, everyone's doing that at middleweight. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? Wake up. Now, like I said, if you want to see him fight a boxer, right? Canelo Alvarez lost after he got an L from Floyd. Let's be honest, he got an L. He's been avoiding these boxers, and a lot of these boxers are so dominant, they're so elite, that they can go up multiple weight classes and get a belt. Canelo Alvarez is not the only one who did that. So let's get that straight. Let's get that straight. Now, let me know how you guys feel about that, though. Do you actually think Canelo got that L? I do. I think Canelo got that L. He's been avoiding that question ever since on the test. Can he handle an elite level boxer that's bigger than him or big as him? And the answer is no, because he's been avoiding those guys. It's a bad look. A lot of people have Canelo losing the Arizona lower fight. A lot of people thought Triple G beat him in the middleweight fight. You know, there's many more L's that you could add on Canelo's resume. But, you know, he's just focusing on our Floyd Mayweather loss because that's official. But in reality, he could have easily lost the Arizona lower fight, which I thought Arizona won, and a Triple G fight. Well, many people think Triple G won that fight. Anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace. Geoboxing.